There are dark places in the galaxy where few tread, ancient centers of learning, of knowledge, but I did not walk alone. To be united by hatred is a fragile alliance at best.
This is Hillary Goldstein, editor of IGN Xbox, here with a video review of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2: The Sith Lords. KOTOR 2 begins 5 years after the events of the first Knights of the Old Republic. This time you play a brand new character, somebody that you never met in the first game, and you're once again a Jedi who's sort of caught up in some mystery. You don't know about certain elements of your past, and your journey throughout this 40-plus hour adventure is going to be discovering the truth about who you are, and why you're so important to the events that are happening around the galaxy. Now, you play a disgraced Jedi who has lost their connection with the Force. But still, the Sith are actually after you, and they've been hunting down all the Jedi for the last 5 years, and they believe that you may be the very last Jedi. So throughout your journey, you're going to meet a lot of interesting characters. You'll run into a few characters that you will remember from the first game, but there's mostly all new characters with their own personalities, their own goals, their own motivations. This time around, you're going to have to really understand those characters' motivations and their personalities, because new developer Obsidian Entertainment has added something called influence into the game. Now, influence is gained if you have responses that are in tune with a character's personality. So there's some characters that actually like cruelty. So if your responses are mean, if you're cruel to other people in view of them, you're going to gain influence over them. Now, on the other hand, let's say you have a very light side character and you're trying to be very dark side, and you're just constantly rude to them and you never try to manipulate them in any way, acquiesce to them, never try to really gain their confidence, then they're going to push more and more to the light side and more away from you. And this is actually going to limit the information that they're going to give you, your dialogue choices, some of the things they'll do for you. Basically, you're losing a teammate, essentially. What's cool about this, though, is that if you want to be dark side, you basically can become a master manipulator, tell people everything they want, but still get away with all of your goals, and slowly drag characters that would normally be light side into the dark. On the other spectrum, you could be light side and actually save some of these dark side characters, and rather than being a manipulator, you could view yourself as a negotiator. You're a peacekeeper. You're somebody who just basically tries to pacify everybody and make them feel good and sort of show them slowly the errors of their ways. As you go towards lighter, towards dark, you're going to have new options for dialogue with people, different characters to interact, different ways to go about missions, and you're also going to have different characters in your party. But more importantly, there's going to be specific force powers that you can only gain by going certain ways in the game. Now, unlike the first game, which kind of let you do whatever you wanted, and then towards the very end of the game basically said, hey, you can be light or dark now, whatever you want to be, the choice is yours, KOTOR 2 actually is going to force you to choose what you want to be early on and keep reinforcing that. Now, you could suddenly have a change of heart and go from dark and try to push towards light, but there's not going to be a single incident where you suddenly can just become good again and have that instant change of heart. It's going to have to be earned, whichever way you choose. And one of the reasons for this is that about 2/3 of the way through the game, you will actually be able to choose a brand new Force class. And there'll only be 3 options to you, and if you're more towards the dark side, you only have 3 dark side options, 3 Sith options. Basically, your fate is, in a way, sealed. You are dark side. And on the other end, if you're light side, you're going to have 3 different Jedi options. And whatever option you choose will actually begin to unlock unique force powers you can only get by that path, which means there's a lot of replayability here. Now, the technology has really not been improved that much. Yes, there's snow, and yes, there's rain now, but there's still an endless amount of load times. They're really, really slow. There's still really bad frame rate problems. But because this is a turn-based game, it really doesn't hurt the gameplay that much. It is a shame that the technology couldn't have been improved to really kind of make the loading a lot more streamed and to at least clear up some of the frame rate hiccups. However, KOTOR 2 could not exist without the first KOTOR, and I don't just mean because BioWare made the first game. I mean that the story itself is very much involved in what went on with Malak and Revan, both in the Mandalorian Wars and then in the Jedi Civil Wars that were occurring during the first Knights of the Old Republic. Now, I don't think that this is necessarily a better game than the first KOTOR, but I think it's pretty close. What I love, though, is the fact that it raises a lot more philosophical issues, things that people really never have talked about in any of the previous games, or certainly in none of the movies. It really gets you to start questioning the idea of what is a Jedi, what is a Sith, and also to really see the perception that the rest of the galaxy has of Jedi and Sith. And it's pretty interesting stuff, and there's a lot of really great dialogue in this game. And there's a lot more humor. There are just tons of incidents where you can choose to be either good or evil. Just seems like every time you talk to somebody, you have the opportunity to be either good or evil. It's not just a once in a while thing. It's sort of a constant, ongoing process. So, Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords, definitely a winner. One of the best RPGs you can get on Xbox. Certainly get it if you like the first one, and if you never played the first one but you like Star Wars, pick up the first KOTOR for $20, get KOTOR 2 as well, and just, take 3 weeks off of work.
I'm broke, biatch!